So for some time now, good morning everybody. For some time now, I have been letting the narrative be what it is. Yes, things get back to me. Things have been said. And no, let me just make it clear that we was not breaking up. So that is a false rumor. I think people need to say that to take the weight off of themselves, because me and his relationship was the most beautiful, soulful, amazing, damn near almost perfect relationship I've ever been in. It was the most healthiest relationship I've been in, even though he may have been going through stuff with himself, just like we all go through stuff with ourselves. But it was never from us, of why he decided to go out the way he did. Now, I've been allowing the narrative of the rumors of I was controlling. First of all, anybody that knew Blue Shaheen knew that there was no control in him. And plus, I don't even have that much power to control anyone. Now, if he moved in a certain way out of respect for me, I don't think that's control. That was out of love. He honored me. You understand? And I am and always am going to honor him. I've been staying silent for so long because I'm still grieving, I'm still mourning, and the pettiness to me is unwarranted. It's not needed. But because we have things coming up that in honor of him, I wish that we could all get together and put our well, it ain't me, because I always remove myself from things. I always put the other person before myself. That's always how I've been. But because we having some things coming up with, the suicide walk in honor of his name, we're going to be starting fundraising for the scholarship that I'm working with someone to help do a scholarship in his name, still helping the community in a way that he always did. He always helped everybody. And even though, I come across a lot of people that says, I wish I knew. I wish I could tell and talk. But I did inside of his family, because it was a family matter of what he was going through. And this is something he was going through way before he even met me, because I met him when he was in so much distress and so much loss and so much darkness. I met him in his darkness. And we pulled each other out over the years, out of each other's darkness when we was in it. Because the only root he had on him was his depression. And we have to be very real about that. And even though the family may want to be in denial, I am not and will not. So let's be clear that he went out the way he wanted to go out. And the only thing I'm upset about is that we didn't honor his wishes at the end when he said he didn't want no burial. He just wanted a memorial and a celebration, which I will be doing for him. Yes, we was in our own situation when it came to, we had to move out of our house. We started staying with my friend. That also put a toll on him, because he felt less than, because he felt like he couldn't provide. And like I told him, it wasn't on him to carry that burden. It was on both of us to carry that burden together. And because my health wasn't so great, and it isn't still, I know that also played a part in why he didn't want me to worry so much about him. But he was the love of my life. He was my rock. He was my forever. And it took me some time to not be so mad with him. To trust me that I had. And anybody that knew us, that knew him, really knew him and knew us, knew how much we loved each other and how much we meant to each other. We was each other's rock. We was each other's go-to. We was each other's support system when we didn't have a support system outside of us. So it's so easy to play a narrative to make the other person look guilty, to take the pressure off of yourself. And I allowed that to help with the other person's grieving. But I will not allow you to poison and taint the love that we had for each other because of whatever you was feeling. That's something you need to work out with yourself. But just know that to each and every one that he has helped, you know where his mind and heart was always. He was an angel on earth. Can't nobody tell me different. I told him that when I first met him. There was something about him, something different. I know that he was a rare love that I would never get back, that I would never experience with anyone else. I know that. He was rare and special and so unique in his own way. And he touched so many people on earth. And I know he's with God. No matter how he took himself, removed himself from this world, I know that he loved God. I know he loved learning about God. When he was going to church, he was so, eager. He even wanted to go to the Bible school, like really at college, and really become, a speaker. But I know that he was battling his own demons. But I will not allow people to taint and poison the love that we had for one another. And I hope in the future, with these upcoming events coming, that we could come together and stop staying divided in honor of him. At least we can do that for him. If not, I will continue doing what I'm doing on a positive note, and you guys can stay in the negative. And I will stay with the people that's going to ride with me on the positive side instead of the negative, because everybody knows that knew him, he was not a negative person. But if you want to keep honoring him in a negative way, by all means, do it solo, by yourself. But over here, we will be honoring him with positivity, with love, with grace. We are doing a walk. They're doing a walk in Jones Beach next month for suicide prevention. And we will, his family, our family, is going to be doing a walk in his honor. And it's sad and unfortunate that we have to be here. And I'm finally speaking because I'm tired of hearing things coming back to me even after where we're about to celebrate his 5th month not being here. Not celebrate, but you know what I mean. I hope and I keep praying for those who choose to stay in the darkness. Let's walk out of the darkness. Let's do that for him at least, because he was fighting to walk out of his darkness. I will always be his advocate. I will always vouch for him. I will always speak on him, for him. So please, don't listen to the hype. He didn't take himself from this world because of what was going on in his life, because he had a happy life with me. He was just battling stuff inside his head. And that's why he took so much joy in helping everyone else, because it took away his pain a little while. That's why he was so good at helping everybody work through their situations and pull them out of darkness, because he was in his own darkness. And I know that he is at peace with that part. I know that he's not at peace of how we are being with one another. I ain't gonna say how I am, because I will remove myself from the negative and toxicity of things. That's why I have not been in the scene with anything that's the negative side of people are doing and saying. I don't want no parts of it, because that's not the person he was in my eyes. So I will stay on this side and continue to support and continue to carry his name in a positive light, because that's who and what he was for me. And I know that's who he was for a lot of people. So in remembrance of him on this month, on the 15th, just remember how funny, how outgoing, how determined and motivated, and caring he was to a lot of us. Supportive to all of us. Instead of believing the hype that somebody did this to him, or that he did this to himself over a breakup or whatever they're saying, he did this because he was broken in his spirit. Because this whole year has been rough for him, this whole year. This is not something that he just decided to do. He's been battling this for his whole life. Depression, his whole life. And in the 3.5 years that I've known him, well, four years that I've known him, we was together for 3.5. But for the 4 years that I've known him, he was in and out of darkness. He would come out and go back in, come out and go back in. And that's what the family would say. This is him, this is what he does, don't worry. But I was worried, I was scared this whole year, because I knew that this was going to be the end result. Him not being seen and heard inside of his family, because he was always seen and heard in our family. And that's what his big problem was, his issue was not being seen and heard inside of his own family. Up until his last wish, and he still wasn't honored in the correct way. And that's my only issue with this, that he still wasn't seen or heard, even in his last request. And that's something y'all have to live with. I will continue to keep praying for you like I do, and forgive, because that's what God says I have to do. And that is the most hardest thing. But I will do it, because that's what I'm taught to do. So you guys have a blessed day. And may God be with you.